All right, so let me take you all to a very delicious scenario. So what is happening here? Can you see this blue colored guy? So blue colored guy, I'm calling him, let's say, Mr. Sharma. So Mr. Sharma has taken out his family on a weekend, let's say. So Mr. Sharma has taken out his family to a very famous fast food joint. Do you know the name of that fast food joint? Yes, Baiju's Cafe. You guys are pretty smart, huh? Getting smarter day by day. Lovely. So Mr. Sharma has actually taken out to Baiju's Cafe to his entire family. So there are 5 folks and in there. So we have like Mr. Sharma, and then we have. See, I will not name them, otherwise you'll be forgetting them. So I will be actually calling these people by the color of the shirt that they are wearing, right? So we have a blue colored shirt, Mr. Sharma, blue colored guy. Then we have green colored t-shirt guy. Then we have a white colored top lady. Then we have a maroon colored top lady. Then we have a yellow colored shirt, not shirt, a boy, like not yellow colored boy, the yellow colored t-shirt boy. So that's what we have here. And do you remember Mr. Michael? So Mr. Michael is taking the order at the counter, and this is what the situation. So what is happening? Like these guys have been waiting for a long time. That's what happens usually on the weekend joints. Not in the pandemic situation, but earlier used to happen a lot, and again in the future it will happen again. Okay, let's get back to this. So Michael told Mr. Sharma, there is a long queue. There is only one table is there, which is free, and that's a circular table. So what do you have to do? All you guys have to get arranged themselves on that circular table only. Mr. Sharma was a mathematician only, right? So he always used to find out mathematics into the real life, and that's what it's all about, right? Mathematics is all about this bringing mathematics to the real life problems. So Mr. Sharma has decided to sit with the entire family on the circular table. Now, Mr. Sharma got something in his mind. So he tried to do one certain activity. What was that activity? So he told everyone that what you have to do. See, this is how they were sitting, right? So we have this like blue color shirt guy, then we have this green color shirt guy, then we have this white top lady, then we have this maroon color top lady, and then we have a boy wearing a yellow t-shirt. All right, perfect. So that's how I'm actually moving on to them. So now what Mr. Sharma said that please guys, let's have some fun here. Right. The food was already there, but still he just wanted to have some fun. So let's see how the fun is actually moving around. So he said, let's shift our position by 1 unit on the left hand side. So we have to move in the clockwise sense. Everyone has to shift to one position on their left hand side. All right. So look carefully. If I start with this green guy here, or the guy with the green t-shirt here, not the green guy, the green color, the guy with the green t-shirt here. So what is happening? In the next situation, see, that's how they got rotated. Perfect. Then, now the lady with the white top is in the middle. Then again they got rotated. Then again, one more rotation. Then again, one more rotation. And now, what is happening here? See, again, if I rotate once more, they'll reach to the same position where we started. So I'm the observer, right? I'm just a curious guy. I'm just actually looking at all their ways, how they are arranging themselves. So have they arranged themselves in any way? No, they have just moved in a circular arrangement. They've just moved by 1 unit, and they are actually just rotating themselves in the clockwise sense. Okay, so if they are rotating in the clockwise sense, are they rearranging themselves? No, they are not. All right. So what were the 5 positions? These were the 5 situations were there. And in every pattern, if you look carefully, they are just rotating themselves in the clockwise way by 1 unit on the clockwise manner. All right. Perfect. So these were the 5 ways, and this is how they were actually just rotating their arrangement, right? So they were just rotating their positions. Any other arrangement or something that they were doing? No, they were not rearranging themselves. Are you getting my point? So what is happening? All these 5 arrangements here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these 5 arrangements here, they are nothing but the same circular arrangement. If I am the observer, I'll say that every time it is the same arrangement. You take up a certain picture. Take up any particular picture. Let's say for case 1. On the right hand side of this green colored guy, we have this white colored lady, or rather white colored shirt lady, right? Then again, on the right hand of this green colored guy, green colored shirt guy, we have this, on the right hand side of him, we have a lady with a white top, right? Exactly, that's the same situation. Again, in this situation, this is the same thing. Again, here on the right hand side of this green colored shirt guy, we have a white colored top lady. And similarly, the same thing is happening here. Right? So they are not rearranging themselves. They just got rotated, right? They just rotate themselves just for fun. But did they rearrange themselves? No, they not. They absolutely did not rearrange themselves. Now, had it been the case, let's say if I consider one situation here, and had it been the case, if I would have made them arrange on a, let's say that waiting sofa, right? So waiting sofa, they were arranged in a linear way, or that's what we call that they were arranged in a row, right? So let's say how does it pop up here? So the first situation when we started with the guy with the green colored shirt, then they were just rotating themselves. So in the second position, now this blue colored shirt guy has come up in the first position. And can you see, this is how the picture is coming in, right? Every time the second arrangement, when they got rotated, the second picture looks like this in a linear way. The third situation looked like this in a linear way. The fourth position looked like this in a linear way. And the fifth position looked like this in a linear way. Right? In linear, they are all different. Because in the first one, it starts with the guy with the green shirt. In the second one, it starts with the guy with the blue shirt. In the third one, it starts with the guy with the yellow t-shirt and so on. But in the circular arrangement, they were all same. What does that mean? In circular arrangement, if they were arranging them, so they were 5 folks, there were 5 people, there were 5 chairs or 5 positions. So these all 5 positions, actually, if I split them into the circular way, or they were rotating themselves, right, by one chair on the right left side or right side, or in the clockwise manner basically. So what do I had it here? Every time in circular they were all same, but in linear they are all different. So these 5 people, had it they been into the linear format, they were all doing the 5 different positions, but in circular they are all counted as same. Why? Because in circular we don't have a start or an end. Here we do have a start and an end. Right? In linear, we do have a start and an end, but in circular, we don't have a start or an end, right? Anyone can start observing from any position, right? Okay, what does that mean? That means the circular permutation has a one certain very important point to notice here. And that point is, let's say if I take up this particular circular periphery, and if I'm given with n folks, so let's say not n folks, we have n objects here, right? And I want to arrange them into the circular pattern. So the number of ways of arranging n distinct objects in a circular pattern turn out to be factorial n minus 1. Just, or like it, so I do have n objects here, n distinct objects here. But the number of ways of arranging them in a circular pattern are factorial n minus 1. Why this factorial n minus 1 is coming? In linear, that was factorial n. Of course, in linear, we know that the arrangement will look different, right? But in circular arrangement, what will happen? We don't have a start or end. So many of the ways will be repeating itself. Okay. So what has happened in the previous case? All those 5 linear arrangement, when they were all sitting on the sofa, all the 5, they look different. But that was only one circular arrangement. What does that mean? 5 linear arrangement have been equivalent to one circular arrangement. Are you getting my point? So basically, one circular arrangement can generate 5 different type of linear arrangements. Okay, are you getting to that? So how many objects that we are dealing with here? N. So let's try to look for the proof of it. How do we do that? So we say that let X be the number of arrangement for those n objects in a circular pattern. Perfect. Okay. Now, we know that clearly that each circular arrangement, the number of linear arrangement has to be n only, right? See, for 5 folks on a table, how many linear arrangements were there? 5, right? Had there been 6 folks, how many linear arrangements would have been there? 6. Similarly, if I have n objects in a circular pattern, then how many equivalent linear arrangements would be generated for that one particular arrangement? N. So for every circular arrangement, we'll have n different linear arrangement. Please be very careful with the words circular and linear, right? So every one circular arrangement would lead to n linear rearrangements. Perfect. All right. Okay. So if I try to write the formula for X, or let's say if I take up the number of arrangements of n objects, n distinct objects in the linear fashion, right? So I'm taking up the very basic rule. So the number of ways of arranging those n objects into a linear format, how will they become equal to? They will become equal to n times the number of ways of arranging them into the circular pattern, because every circular pattern will be actually generating n distinct linear arrangements. So I can say that the total number of ways of arranging n objects in the linear format, linear, will become equal to n times the number of ways of arranging the objects in the circular format. All right, everyone understood it, right? Why? Because every circular arrangement of n objects, n distinct objects, can generate n distinct linear observations or n distinct linear arrangements. Perfect. So from here, I'll say that this number of ways of arranging n objects in a linear way are factorial n. That will become equal to n. And the number of circular arrangement that we have assumed it to be x earlier. So from here, I can very easily deduce that x will become, or in fact, I'll write it here. So x will become nothing but is equal to factorial n divided by n. I can take this n out of here. What I'm left with? N minus 1 factorial divided by n, and then get cancelled. What do I have it here? I'll simply have it here as the number of circular permutation of n distinct objects will be nothing but equal to factorial n minus 1, which is nothing but our x is, right? So x turn out to be what? Factorial n minus 1. Did you get the idea? And that simple idea is only this, that every circular arrangement will actually lead up to n linear arrangements, n distinct linear arrangement. Or in other words, you can say that if I have n distinct objects, then those n distinct linear arrangement will actually add up to one particular type of circular arrangement, right? Okay, that's how we have generated the formula. Perfect. Now, I'll give you a very quick alternative approach. I understand that some of you might not have been very comfortable with the previous type of thought process, right? You must have understood, but you might not be very comfortable. I'll make you comfortable with the second method of approach. The number of ways of arranging these circular objects in n distinct objects in a circular pattern are factorial n minus 1. How do we do it? Let's say I have a circular arrangement, and let's say these are the objects here, and objects I'm naming it to be, call it some a1, a2, a3, so on till an minus 1 an. Now, listen very carefully. What do I have it here? Let's say if a1 is on one certain position. All right. So what do? We take up any one particular guy and make him sit somewhere on that circular pattern. If I want to create a circular pattern, assume it in this way, right? Think in this way. It's a pretty simple way to understand. So you'll start with someone, right? And then you start with some certain position. So let's say there is a circular table. N distinct positions are there on that circular table. On one position, I have picked up, or rather I have picked up a certain object and I have put it up there on that circular table somewhere. So let's say this A1 is the guy which I have somewhere kept it. Now I know that around this A1 I have to generate a circular pattern. What do I have here? Now this A1 is fixed, right? A1 I have already placed. It doesn't matter what you're choosing, A1, A2, A3, doesn't matter, right? Because in circle, if A1 is sitting here, if A1 is sitting here, if A1 is sitting here, doesn't matter, right? Okay. So for the first position, the entire circle is free. A1 can sit anywhere. Let's say A1 sits here. So if A1 is sitting here, then I know that I'm left with rest of the n minus 1 positions here. So second position, third position, fourth position, so on till n minus 1th position and nth position. They are all blank. What do I have it here? Now I have a start A1 and I'll have an end also as A1. Situation, I'm left with now n minus 1 objects, and those n minus 1 objects have to be placed in these n minus 1 positions. So n minus 1 objects in n minus 1 position can be arranged in how many ways? Factorial n minus 1 ways. This is a thought process that you need to understand. I'm quickly repeating it. Just arrange one position, or rather just pick up one certain position and place any guy over there. Or you just pick up one particular, any object. Doesn't matter which object that you're choosing. So we don't have to count the number of ways to select a certain object. No, we are not selecting any object. A random object, I've just picked it up and I've just filled up that particular place. Somebody will be starting, right? If I want them to make them start sitting in a circular arrangement, somebody will start. Let anyone start. Once a particular guy, let's say A1 has started, now we are sure that we are left with n minus 1 position. Start becomes A1, n becomes A1. So what happened? This is equivalent to a linear arrangement of n minus 1 objects on n minus 1 distinct position. So n minus 1 distinct objects on n minus 1 different positions can be arranged in simply factorial of n minus 1 way. Understood it? Right? And as I've already said, the difference between the circular arrangement and the linear arrangement is basically that in linear, we do have a recognized initial and the final point, or in circular, we don't have a starting or an initial or terminal point. Are you getting my point? That's the basic differences there. Perfect. Understood the idea? So for an ultimate, what the thought is, n distinct objects. If you want to arrange them in a circular pattern, how many ways? Factorial n minus 1. Got it? Remember, n distinct objects to be arranged in a circular pattern. How many ways? Factorial n minus 1. Perfect? Lovely. Let's quickly move on to what the thought process that we have to move ahead with it. So as I said that linear, we have a recognized starting place, but in circular, we don't have a starting or a terminal position. Let's say we have these n objects, a1, a2, a3, so on till an, and they are to be arranged in a certain row, into a circular pattern, right? Now, that's what the idea which I said. If positional places are marked, then circular arrangement can be treated as a linear arrangement. What does that mean? If you have, let's say, first position a1 I have made up here, then what is the situation? The rest of this situation, or whatever the circular circumference may be, I'll put it up in this way. All these positions, these n minus 1 positions, are basically like that we are filling them into a linear format. So when any one particular position is fixed, then you are actually treating like a linear arrangement of n minus 1 objects, right? That's what the idea was there. Perfect. Now, as I've said that the linear and the circular has only one difference, that in linear we do have a starting and ending point, but in circular we don't have a starting and ending point. Okay, but here in circular, as I repeat that once again, if I fix a positional place, let's say if I fix up the first place, then again the rest of the object has to go to second place, third place, fourth place, then n minus 1 place and n place. So n minus 1 objects has to go to these n minus 1 places. So the number of ways of doing so will be n minus 1 factorial.